So far we have seen about signals and system. So what are we going to deal with it? So in signals and system we'll have analysis problems where input, system and output. So this is what we are going to deal completely in this course, where the input and the system configuration will be given and we are supposed to find out the output of a system. So generally we will be dealing about analysis problems. Later comes about the synthesis problems, where the input and the output will be given, and in certain cases we are supposed to find out what the system is. So in this case the system may or may not exist. So mostly we'll be dealing about analysis problems throughout this course. So you need to just have a clarity about what are analysis problems and what are synthesis type of problems. Now coming into continuous and discrete time signals. So in classification of signals, first let's discuss about what is continuous time and discrete time signal. So what do you call as a continuous time signal? A signal which is specified for each and every value of t. A signal which is specified for each and every value of t is what you call it as a continuous time signal. So how will you represent a continuous time signal? A continuous time signal is represented by x of t. We have already seen t is an independent variable and here x is a dependent variable. An example of how you can plot a continuous time signal. So here if you see, this is a triangular waveform where you have got the amplitude A and you have got the signal as x of t and time intervals represented as t and minus t. So it can also be, the time limits can also be from infinity to minus infinity. Another example for a continuous time signal is you can also represent any waveform where this indicates for each and every value of the time period, which means from 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 up to the value t tends to infinity, you will have the signal to be plotted. You will have the signal to be plotted. Continuous time signal is where you will have the signals being specified for every value of t. So that is a continuous time signal. So your speed signal, your sine signal, so sine waveform, your cosine waveform, your speed signal, all these are best examples for continuous time signals. Now let's discuss about a discrete time signal. So the signals which are specified at discrete time intervals. So here discrete means at irregular time intervals. At irregular time intervals, you call it to be a discrete time signal. A best example for you people to understand. For example, you are going to do savings in a bank. The bank deposits which you do. For example, you take in the month of January, you are going to deposit 500 rupees. In the month of February, you are going to deposit 50,000. Again, in the month of March, you are going to deposit some 500. So, which means at irregular intervals of time, you will not specify the date or the month. At irregular intervals of time, you have got some amount of value to be deposited in the bank. And this is not being done at continuous time intervals. That is what you call it as a discrete time signal. So, discrete time signal which is specified at irregular time intervals, or it will be defined at certain time instance. Rather than every time instant, you will have the value specified at certain time instance. So these are the key points which you need to know. Specified at discrete time intervals or irregular time intervals or certain time instance. So this is a plot of how you can draw a discrete time signal. So I have already plotted here. So for example, see the value t0, t1, t2 and up to t. Again here it is t minus 1, t minus 2 and minus t. It extends up to minus t. So what is actually del t? So del t is the difference of time interval between two signals. So here del t is what? So this gives me del t, right? Again if I have got a signal here, this gives me del t. So what is del t? It is t1 minus t0. Or otherwise t2 minus t1. or otherwise the last value will be what? Tn minus 1. So this is actually the time interval. So for example, if I take the time interval del t to be capital T. So what happens here? T1 minus T0 is equal to T. In turn, it becomes what? T2 minus T1. So you can see the difference T1 minus T0 is equal to T is equal to what? T2 minus T1. So how can I replace this T0? For example, if I take it to be 0, in turn T0 minus T1 or T1 minus T2. What is the difference? That difference I have taken it as T. Again, what will be the next time difference? It will become 2t. The next thing will become 3t. In turn, it will become n into t. And this important point as electronics engineers, you have to know if the time interval is same. If the time interval is same, you call the signal to be uniformly sampled. And if the time interval is not same, the signal is not uniformly sampled. Let me repeat this concept. You are having the signal which are defined at discrete instance of time. So when I talk about discrete instance of time, so for example, when I talk about discrete instance of time, so let me have the same signal being plotted here. So discrete instance of time. So what happens here? Del t is taken as the difference between the two signals, T1 minus T0, T2 minus T1. In turn, the nth signal becomes Tn minus 1. So if I take the time interval as capital T, time period, so in turn T1 minus T0 is equal to capital T, that is equal to T2 minus T1. So in turn, to be very simple and crisp, you can tell the time interval is same, the signal is said to be uniformly sampled, and the time interval is not same, the signal is said to be not uniformly sampled. So if the time interval is same, the signal is said to be uniformly sampled, and the time interval is not same, it is not uniformly sampled. So here, this is what we have done. Let us consider del t is equal to capital T. So T1 minus T0 is equal to T. So if I take the value T0 to be 0, obviously what happens to T1? If I substitute it here, so T1 minus 0 is equal to T. Okay, so the value of T1 becomes equal to T. So if I substitute it in turn, it becomes 0T, 2t, 3t and nt, and that is what you represent a discrete time signal as x of n and a continuous time signal as x of t. So in the place of t, what are we going to replace it as? N into capital T, what we have derived here. So this n into capital T, so this time period is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So in turn, what happens? It can be represented as x of n. So a continuous time signal will be always represented as x of t, and a discrete time signal will be represented as x of n. So this is a simple example of how you can represent an signal. So how will you write the values? So I have plotted a signal here, a discrete time signal. So let us see how this signal can be represented mathematically. So this is x of n. So for example, you take n. So this will become n. This is minus n. So when n is equal to 0, what is the value of x of n? When n is equal to 0, the value of x of n is 1. And again, when n is equal to 1, the value of x of n is equal to, see at the point 1, it carries the value 2. And when n is equal to 2, it carries the value, again, it is 2. And again, when n is equal to 3, it carries the value x of n is equal to, just you see the plot, it becomes 1. Imagine in minus 1, I am going to plot a signal which carries an amplitude 3. So when n is equal to minus 1, the amplitude of x of n becomes 3. So this is how the plotting of, or otherwise the representation of, a discrete time signal will be given. So you will either be given with the representation and asked to write the values, or otherwise you will be given with the values and you will be asked to plot a signal. Let me plot a discrete time signal. So when I plot a discrete time signal, so let me explain how to plot a discrete time signal. So you are being given with a discrete time signal as 1, 2, 0, 3, minus 2. So if you are being given with a sequence and if you are asked to draw a discrete time signal, how will you draw? Because you doesn't know exactly where this value of 1 has to come, where this value of 2, or where this value of 0, 3 and minus 2 has to be plotted. So for that representation, if you see, an arrow mark will be given when a sequence is given like this. So this arrow mark indicates the 0th position of the signal. It indicates the 0th position of a signal. Now, let me plot the signal. For example, the arrow mark is given here. Okay, so this arrow mark indicates it is the 0th position, which means at the 0th position, it takes the value 3. And to the right hand side, it carries positive values. So in the place of 1, it takes the value minus 2. And again, in minus 1, it takes 0. Minus 2, it takes 2. And minus 3, it takes 1. So now let me plot the signal. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this goes on up to n. Since it is a discrete time signal. Again, this becomes minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and this goes on up to minus n. So let me have the axis scale. Okay, so at the point, so this is going to be the signal x of n. So at the origin 0, what does it take? It takes the value 3. So it is going to take the value 3. Okay, at the point 1, so let this be 1, so let this be 2 and 3. So let this be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and it goes on. So at the point 1, it takes the value. So when it is 1, it is going to take the value minus 2. So the signal becomes here. So when it is minus 1, it is going to take the value 0. So I plotted here. When it is minus 2, it takes the value 2. So when it is minus 2, it takes the value 2. And again, when it is minus 3, it takes the value 1. So again, I will represent it. So this point 0 indicates, this arrow mark indicates the 0th position. So at the point 0, it takes the value 3. And when it is 1, it takes the value minus 2. When it is minus 1, it takes the value 0. And when it is minus 2, it takes the value 2. And when it is minus 3, it takes the value 1. So this is how a discrete time signal needs to be plotted. So let us discuss this fascinating signals and system course in the next video. Thank you for watching.